What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about the success of Sly Cooper 1 yet again. We actually have an article to back ourselves up this time, but also you can still just kind of see it. In fact, since the last time we talked in a video, PlayStation even did that classic tweet. I think it got like a 500,000 impressions or something. Pretty good for just advertising that Sly Cooper 1 is on your subscription service, right? Or that you can buy it separately. But you go back to our friend, the ratings, really, and you look at it, Sly Cooper still at a 4.96. Remember we talked about, I wonder if that's going to move, as more reviews, I guess, come in. Nope, 7.1 thousand ratings. And that's the thing right there. Now, even just with the eye test, and I was doing this a few days ago, you look at the ratings, 7.1 thousand. It's high. That's a high number of just reviews in general. And, we talked about people giving it fives, probably just to do it. And I have no argument against that. I think that's totally fine. It sends a message, and it sends a message that I think, Sony needs to hear, or PlayStation needs to hear. But you look at the numbers and you say, man, 7.1, like, is that high? And then I started looking at it compared to the other games, the other PlayStation games that, whether it was with Sly put onto the service or even before, and you look at some of these ratings and getting 7,000 plus reviews, even getting 5,000 or 4,000 the last time we talked, that is an enormous number. So I was just thinking that, right? Thinking, you know what? This is making an impact far beyond even that first video that we talked about. Well, there was actually an article done by TrueTrophies.com, great website just in general, and they break down some of the statistics of this game. I mean, pretty much what you need to know. We're going to go through some of the actual numbers, but the game's leading in like every single metric. I think it's the highest game of its ilk, beating games like Twisted Metal, beating anything else like it ever. Period. So that is incredible just even hearing that. But then, let's look at this article just really fast and let's look at some of the numbers. So they even say it here. The Sly Cooper game, the first Sly Cooper game, has scored the biggest debut on PS Plus Premium so far. It had a 2.5% higher player count than Legend of Dragoon. And then it's the 8th biggest PS Plus game of 2024 so far. That one really stands out to me as like, holy God, you can compare it to the ones that, it would get compared to. But then you look at all of them, and for it to be 8th, and you're sitting here at the end of June, you've gone through half a year. For Sly Cooper 1, which, as I've said, maybe controversially, because I think some people disagree, I think Sly 2 and 3 are far better than Sly 1. But for Sly 1 to get such high praise and to get such high, player count, I guess, is absolutely insane. So they talk about that. Previously, the biggest game was, The Legend of Dragoon. That PS1 classic has remained the best-selling game on PS Premium for over a year now, but it was, eliminated immediately, basically, by Sly. Had a 2.5 higher, basically, like, attach rate to it. And they break down the top 5 PS Plus Premium games so far. Sly at number 1. Legend of Dragoon, number 2, Tomb Raider Legend, which was part of the same, kind of package, Twisted Metal, and I actually played that when that came out as well, and Resistance Retribution, that's actually really, really good for Resistance, and also coming out just in February. And it said, while Tomb Raider saw a strong debut, Sly had 39%, you can round it up to 40, more active PS5 and PS4 players in the same week, and they also talk about the top 10 PS Plus extra games so far. Sly is number 8, right below Animal Well, which was, a hot indie game, Tiny Tina, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Midnight Suns, Need for Speed, Red Dead 2, and Dave the Diver, beating out Dredge and Resident Evil 2. There's a 85.11 difference in active player count between Sly and this year's biggest PS Plus extra game, so quite a bit. It's pretty far beyond that. It's not going to reach that one. And then even they say, if anything, at least the success of Sly Cooper, a beloved PS2 classic, shows that the old Sony favorites still have the power to grab significant PS Plus subscriber attention. And yeah, I mean, look, we've been saying it all along, right? Now that you see the numbers, again, you can see the ratings, you can see how many people are giving it, the 5 stars and whatnot, all of that jazz. But now literally seeing where it matches up all time, and also in just all time, I guess, again, with the comparables, and then just this year ranked against everything. Sly 1, a game that's 22 years old, standing in 8th place, right? right? Now, as they say, there's quite a jump, quite a distance between 8 and 1. So, is it going to reach, 7, 6, 5? It might do that, but to reach like the top 2 or 3, especially when you have half a year left and, the summer will eventually end, new games will come out, people I think will be pulled away from it. It's going to die down. But it's so great to see, and, I got to lead the charge on YouTube to beg PlayStation for more Sly Cooper games. I'm never going to stop. Nobody can stop me. And you can try, I suppose, but it's not going to work. No, I mean, I really want more Sly games. I think a lot of people want them, and we've talked about it. I think at the very worst, you're just going to get Sly 2 and 3. And, there's the rumor of the PS3 emulator. Again, we've heard rumors for like 2 years or so, but, to get Thieves in Time, I think would be really cool. To get the Sly collection would be really cool. But, one at a time, give me Sly 2, give me Sly 3. I think they could potentially do better because I don't know. I grew up. I think I've maybe told this story before. I've played Sly. I think I for sure played Sly 2 first, and then maybe I played 1 after that, but it was like 2, 1, 3 was kind of the order I played it in. But, that is like my childhood. Don't know how many other people would do it, but I think Sly 2 and 3 would do better numbers than Sly 1. So, I don't know, like, ultimately, you grasp at straws, I grasp at straws, and, we can keep begging and people have their opinion on it, but I just don't see how Sony, PlayStation, like, here's the thing, they have these numbers, you know what I mean? Like, they see, whether it's charts or, Excel documents, whatever the heck they look at day to day, they can see which games perform and which games don't. Whether they want to act on them or not, that's up to them. But they can see, without a doubt, right? Obviously, they can see Sly 1 just killing it in ratings, in placement, in players. We talked about sales last time, right? It's not just people playing it through the subscription service. People are also buying this game. So, like, they see all of it. You know what I mean? Again, I think at the worst, you trigger something inside them to say, okay, well, of course we're going to do Sly 2 and Sly 3. But at best, do they look at those things and throw it into, I don't know, some sort of algorithm chart or in their brains, when they have these meetings and say, hey, Sly has always performed pretty darn well when we do these type of things. Maybe it's a franchise that can be brought back if it hasn't already, been talked about a little bit. So one can only hope, but it's just so cool. Favorite game franchise of all time to see, it be murdered and left murdered by PlayStation, and then they just don't even care, and then to just see the support of it online. It's not like, it truly is absolutely nuts. So I'm so happy for it. I really am. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on. I hope to see you all on the next one.